We're on there live.
Yeah, we're live now. Just wait for a few to trickle through before we start. A few to trickle through.
Oh, Seymour's in.
Ah.
Hi, Seymour.
Hello, Mr. Seymour.
Say something.
Sorry?
That's better. It's all right, my speakers, I can have them on digital or analog, and I find it easier because mine's a 7.1 system. Knock it over to just 2 speakers and take them off digital, and the sound's better. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't get any feedback, so that's why I just said I was knocking it over off digital. So that's why I said to you, speak.
Speak and be heard.
Speak.
Right. Anyway, welcome everyone. Wednesday once again. Wednesday the 18th of April. Oh no, we weren't here last week, were we?
No, because you was ill and I was busy doing horrible things for the government called forms.
Yes, Neil was doing that.
A diabetic attack.
Yeah, and I had a nasty diabetic episode. So
Well, really, he's only telling you that. What actually happened was he found a mirror with a piece of glass in. He realised how ugly he was.
Kind words from Neil there.
And it frightened him.
I have special toughened glass to broadcast your...
There you go. Here he goes again. Glass.
So...
Unfortunately, there is no Reese tonight because he is on holiday with his best mate in Ireland and he's not coming home until tomorrow. And knowing him, he's in a pub and it'd be a bit difficult to try doing a live feed from a pub, especially in Ireland.
Wow. So whereabouts in Ireland has he gone?
Do you know? I don't know.
Didn't he say Dublin? Did he say Dublin?
I think it is. It's Dublin or just outside Dublin, yeah. Because it's leprechaun country. I've warned him about keeping an eye from leprechauns.
Yeah, Dublin. Anyway, so hope you've all had a good couple of weeks. Haven't really done much myself. Not like outside of modelling. My other hobby, I like reading and playing computer games. So I've been mainly doing that when I haven't been modelling. So we'll start straight away with some items that I've bought. Now, I got this nifty little device. I bought this through Mike Jolly, who many of you will probably know. And it comes in a flat pack. It's dead easy to put together. Very, very simple. And I think it's something like £5. It's if
you have Mark,
what?
if you buy all the accessory tops for the different bottles,
yeah,
it's £6.50 because the accessory tops are 50p each.
Yeah.
Because after seeing that last night, I've ordered one.
So basically, it's a big base, and it comes with a couple of lids, I believe, as standard, and you just put your glue in there, and it's so that you can't knock it over, because anyone who's modelled at some point has knocked their bottle of Tet over. It's virtually guaranteed that has happened. It's almost like a rite of passage. At some point, you are going to knock your bottle of Tet over. As impossible as it seems, it happens. So this guy, it's email, I think the website address is EBMA. I don't know what the website address is, but if you search for EBMA, I'll find it and I'll get it put on the details below later on. He also does racks like I've got behind me. He does racks that fit Citadel and Vallejo and all that sort of thing at various prices.
In actual fact, he does an absolutely fantastic set of paint racks.
Yeah.
They come in a box. with drawers which slide out, and even the MRP bottles is made drawers where the MRP bottles lie flat in holders.
Yeah.
And like the Tamiya bottles, I think it'll take 48 or 60 bottles in drawers, so you can have like this square box without what's open fronted. You just slide the drawers out. It's absolutely brilliant stuff, and it is not as expensive as Hobbyzone.
Yeah,
That's the one thing I've noticed. It's a lot cheaper than Hobbyzone. And the other thing is it's bigger. All the units are bigger. They're actually bigger.
So you just twizzle these little tiny pieces. They come off like that. And then what you can do is, as Neil said earlier, I bought the extra lids. You get I think 2 lids as standard, and then, excuse my fat sausage fingers, that comes off, that comes out, and then where did I put the lids? You just, they're in the masking tape box. That's it. So you get various designs. So this one, for example, let's see if anyone can guess what it's for. I'm not going to lock it down every time. That's that one. So who can guess what that one's for?
I can.
Yeah, we know you can.
Don't give it away. Pretend you haven't seen it, Neil.
All right, I haven't seen it.
Right, here's the clue. So yeah, they're for Microset, Microsol, or the Micro Crystal Clear, or
They were supposed to guess.
Yeah, well, I haven't got time for them to. I can't just have like dead air waiting for people to guess.
We could have said guess at the end of the
No, he's on a roll. He's on a roll.
Yeah, so that's them. So then we've got, and there's one that I haven't worked out yet, but we'll get to that one at the end.
I know what that one's for.
Them two. Then we've got. I've been sent 2 of each, I think. No. We've got this one, which, I haven't worked out for it out.
I know what that one's for.
Oh, see? Neil knows what that one's for.
Yeah, I know what, I think I know what that one's for.
Do you?
That's
Well,
for
let's
them.
see if Jeff
No,
Neil
it's
can
not.
say
That's
whether
for
we're right
MRP
or not.
bottle point.
Sorry?
That's for MRP bottles.
No, they're too small. That'd be too small.
Seymour said carrots.
And it's also now MRP bottles, and that for that. You see, that holder is not for things like that. It's for paint. So you will find, if you look on the website, that what you got in your hand there is for things like extreme metal.
But I did look on the website when I bought this because this was what was listed. These bottles were listed as being for this
That's
list.
the same bottle as they use for
Anyway,
extreme metal.
so
Oh, confusing him.
and then we've got this slightly bigger one, and I must confess it's a little bit bigger than this one, and I'm not sure what that one's for.
MRP paints, and I know what the big one's for as well.
The MRP paints are in small bottles.
No, they're not. Have you had an MRP paint bottle?
I've got them here.
Are you pretty? There's one of them for MRP paints, I'm telling you. There you go. Now you put that in the one you just. Now you put that in the one you had the other bottle in.
The what?
The one you had the other bottle in, what you've just took off, you will find fits it. Because there's one specifically for MRP. Not that one. Not that one. The other one with the one hole. I love confusion.
No, you said that.
No. Two is to that side, mate. To that side. To your right. That's it. That one. I bet you that fits.
Well, yeah, that one fit.
There you go.
This one, and then when I came along and put that in and proved it wasn't, you then said, no, this one. So
That's
you
right.
changed your mind.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I said that one in the beginning. You took it off. We'll rewind the film after, and I'll have an argument with you. I don't care.
Hey, let's move on. Round two.
Actually, there are. Shall I tell you what the other ones are for? The larger ones, because I have found out.
Yeah.
They are for Alclad.
Alclad.
Yeah, because the big
right,
one.
yeah,
The big one we couldn't work out for. It's the Alclad. The Alclad lacquers. You know,
Yes.
like the
Yeah, they're quite big bottles.
That's it. Yeah, it's for them. I found a picture with them in. That's what they're for.
Actually, I wonder if that would fit.
To be truthful, I think they'll fit anything you want them to fit.
Yeah. So let's just try this one. So I've got this is Zero Paints 2-pack clear coat.
That's the 20. Is that the 28 ml bottle? Because I'm standard bottle he uses. 28 or 60.
I'm not sure.
It'd be on the bottom of the label.
100 ml bottle. Yeah.
There you go.
Is there one just a little bit
into fitting?
No. So yeah, that one just a little bit of wiggle room in it, but it would hold it. And then there's some smaller ones, and I reckon they might go in that one. The slightly smaller ones. So I mean, for what was it you said, Neil? £6.50.
Yeah, £6.50 for £4.50 for the base unit with I think 3 separate pieces. And then the extra pieces they work out at 50 pence. I think it's 50 pence for 2 or 50 pence for 1. But yeah, the whole set with all of them, £6.50.
Yeah,
and I think that's a bargain for that.
Yeah, £6.50, and yeah, they're fantastic.
And don't forget, it's got a brush holder look on the side, both sides. It's got a brush or a the glass tube with the the glass tube.
Yeah.
For that as well. Yeah.
So basically, this is a bit too big, but the brush itself, you can just lay them in there while you're painting, so that you haven't got it rolling around. When you normally try and find something, so that you prop it up off the desk so that it doesn't. Well, now you've got one the other side as well. So I mean, yeah, there's not much out these days that I don't think it seems impossible that you could make it for that sort of money.
Well, I've got to be truthful with you. I saw that last night, so I ordered that. I was because that's what I was babbling on about when you were asking me what I was talking about last night. Because I split the screen off and I was on EMB, the site EMB models.
Yeah.
And I was working out the sizes of the drawers, the big drawers, and working them out compared to HobbyZone. And in actual fact, I've actually ordered that. I've ordered their rack, which for paintbrushes and other bits and pieces, and it's like an extended size one to what HobbyZone do with a rack that you can put your snips on. I've ordered one of them, and I've ordered 2 sets of drawers. And I've got to admit, today I've been back on there and I've ordered another 4 sets of drawers. Because I've just suddenly decided that's it. I'm going to modify my bench and I'm going to have them, because I must admit, I think they look nicer personally. They got a nicer finish to them than what HobbyZone have.
Mr. Mini Dream said so. It has the square from extra thin.
Now I'm not sure whether
Dave said yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. It's got one for like the old Slaters and Mecpac bottles, what they call the medicine bottles, the elongated dark brown ones. Yeah, it's got one in for them as well.
Right. So I'm
believe it or not, a lot of people still use that.
I'm getting some wall racks like those. I've got them on order, and I've also got the 6 drawers on order that sit on the bench. So if you want to look at buying some of them, they are absolutely fantastic. I can't speak highly enough of them. They're really, really good. A good buy at a really good price. You'll find they're cheaper than HobbyZone.
They are, considering a lot.
Pounds. And so I will find the address, the website address, and I will put it in the chat in the description. And while Neil's doing his piece shortly, I'll go and find it, and then before the end of the show, if anyone's got a pen.
Hang on, nobody told me I was going to talk tonight. I thought I was on here to make you laugh.
Oh right, well you're doing a pretty good job of it.
I do try. I try my hardest.
So
I'm a professional idiot, you know.
On to now. Sound Angela's sister spotted this in because they do a lot of work in charity shops, don't they? Oh, it didn't come from a charity shop. Where did it come from?
From a lady on Facebook that is raising funds
Oh right.
for her son.
So she bought it.
Her son-in-law she lost in a motorbike accident.
Oh
She's
right.
raising funds for the air ambulance.
Right. Okay. So she bought me this. It's an old Airfix kit. When I say old, it's one of their earlier box brands, and it's the Hawk. I've never done the Hawk, so you know it will be an interesting. It's only open because I've opened it to have a look through, and yeah, so I was bought that. And then another thing came through for me. I bought the what is it? Shuffle along there, paints and peripherals.
Plan Dog.
Yeah, Plan DDG Ningbo.
Yeah, she's nicknamed the Plan Dog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
quite a nice looking ship, though, is actually.
Yeah, I don't normally do.
What scale's that, Mark?
This is 1/350 scale.
That's a nice ship, though.
Yeah, generally my position on ships is I normally go out and buy the biggest ship I can, and then I totally ruin it because I lose interest halfway through. Where I bought an Airfix one recently, a small one, a little bit smaller than this, and I had great fun building it because I managed to finish it, so it held my interest more. So I've gone ahead and bought another one, just a little bit bigger, and we'll see how that goes. So for my purchases, that's about it for this week. What we're going to do now, before we do what we've built, I will hand over to Neil, and he will go through anything he's bought this week. And also, I believe, and then we'll do what we've bought before we go on to the bit of news that's circulating at the moment that we wanted to give some thought to. Does that sound all right, Neil? Does that sound about right? Yeah. So if you do what you've bought, then we'll do what we've built, and then you can do what we discussed.
There is only, apart from topping up things, there is only 2 new things that I have brought since I was last on 2 weeks ago. Because I've got to be truthful, I've been that busy with life things getting in the way that in the last 2 weeks, I've not even touched the model. Mark will tell you that. I have been busy doing so many other things. I've not been able to settle down and do a model at all. So I've got to be truthful, I've not even been on websites. But I did get them. And something that is very rare because it seems to be out of stock everywhere at the moment. But luckily, I found it just as E-Models had a new batching. I've got the Light Panther.
What is this kit, Angela?
Now, it is beautiful. It is the same quality as their King Tigers. It is gorgeous. But I'll tell you now, if you want the light one, you will struggle to find it. It seems to be the one that's selling out the most. They do 3 of them. They do an early, a mid-early, and a late. You can get the other 2 quite readily. But this light one, for some reason, everybody's after it. Can't wait to get this one built because it's got a heck of a lot of parts, as you can see. There's loads of parts in it. The detail is the same as what the King Tide was. It's got full interior, everything, and when it's finished, I don't know what scheme I'm going to do it in yet. But either one of them looks nice to me, and I don't think that this will have a lot of heavy weathering either, because when the light ones came out, it was that late in the war, they didn't exactly get a lot of battering before they were either running out of fuel or some delightful typhoon or Thunderbolt pilot decided to send them into the next world. And the other thing I got, because I build a lot of bikes and the frames are very tight, it's been bugging me for ages that I wanted something that I could sand frames with. Now I've been using various things, and I found the best thing for me was these, which are Albion alloy sanders, because you can get them in 3mm and 6mm, and they were the thinnest I could find. But I then found these, and these are called Albion alloy shape shifters. And I thought, well, the £9, yes, they're expensive because you only get that many. You only get 10 of various. There's two of each, various grits. You only get 10, and I mean they're £9, so they're nearly £1 each. But I thought I'll get a set just to see if they're all right. And I'm showing Mark, they are so thin, and they haven't got plastic in the centre of them. They've got aluminium. And they are literally a thin piece of aluminium with it stuck to the aluminium. And you can bend them into all sorts of shapes to sand with. So for doing intricate work, like wing roots and leading edges, car bodies around window screens, what else did I think of instantly? Bike frames, bits on bike engines, tanks, bottom of the barrels, the base of the barrels, around track wheels, even the tracks themselves when they're single link tracks. These will be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Cracking thing, and I must admit I've ordered some more because there's a couple of books in where I wanted to get that I've suddenly had in, so I've put another order in this week for another 2 lots of them to keep them in stock, and a couple of books which when they come I will show you next week what I've got. One of them's a weathering book, and the other's the new book all about photo etch by Adam Wilder, because Adam Wilder's work with photo etch is pretty impressive. So I thought, well, you're never too old to learn, no matter how long you've been doing it. You can always find new ways. So we'll give it a go, because it's not an expensive book. It's only £10, which, you know, considering the price of some books in our hobby, that's cheap. You know, when you think of the FAQ books, which are like, you know, £50 upwards. There's a couple of things as well I've noticed this week. Trumpeter. You know, Trumpeter have got a tool line out, Master Tools. There's a lot of people who make the track link tools for building the track links. And if I can find my little one, I'll show you what I mean. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. It's not in that one.
I've got one of these on order. It's the one I'm thinking about. The track link tool that's going around.
I've been moving my stuff around to see if I looked in the right drawer and find it. Right, I've got a small one, which is a Mission Models one. Now, the only problem with mine is the size of it, because it's not very wide, as you can see. Trumpeter have come out with one, which is anodized in blue, so it's not plain like this one, and it is 17 centimeters long. It is expensive. It's £26 I've seen it for. But if you're making single link tracks, and especially if you're doing metal tracks where you have to drill them, these are a godsend. These are an absolute godsend to get them right. It's one of them things, you don't need them that often, but when you need them, boy, gum them an handy tool. So that's come out. What else is there? Of course, everybody's heard the news about Revell. The fact that Revell Germany has now been sold off. It does not have anything now to do with Revell, who's going through reconstruction in America due to filing for bankruptcy. So Revell Germany now, it looks like it's safe. It's now owned by a parent company which is purely German. It's only got one shareholder, which is the parent company. So I think that they are promising cash investments. So we may very well see some nice new upgraded models from them. It'd be nice that actually, because Revell do some nice stuff. It's just unfortunate that the early stuff were a bit of a pain. But I must admit, the later stuff, the new stuff of like the last 2 years with new molds and new kits, you can't fault them. You can't fault them at all. They're a good company now. But we always see them in Europe, and it's the same in Britain with Airfix. They are constantly fighting for survival for some reason. And I think what it is because a lot of modelers out there now, they want the old shake and bake, open the box, put the glue in, put the paint in, shake the box 3 times, and out pops this beautiful model, which you can do with Tamiya. I mean, Tamiya doesn't need a lot of work for it to build into a nice model and then paint it. But Revell needs work. Airfix need work. I think they're more rewarding because we are modelers. We're supposed to be able to overcome the problems. But that's the other thing that you're finding, that newer modelers are coming into this and they're thinking, oh, scribing, seam lines, things like that. And they do the usual thing. They Google it, they look on YouTube, and there are some people out there who are doing brilliant advice, brilliant ways of doing it, which are simple, easy, quick, bang, it's done. And it's not a lot of drama. But there seems to be some people who make videos who want to make this hobby a witch's brew where you have to dance naked around the flames and put, 2 cockroaches and a bat's ear and everything in for it to even come out reasonable. I can't see the point in that. Wherever it is, look at it, think of the easiest way. That's the way to go. Don't make it complicated, because if you do, it usually turns out being a bigger pain in the neck mess than what it was to begin with. And I think Mark will agree with that.
Yeah, it's true. With that in mind,
yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, so with that in mind, the kit I've been working on this week is actually a kit that I've been told by many people is a bit of a pig. Even Neil himself said at the beginning that it's a bit of a bad kit. And so far, I've been really surprised. It's been far from straightforward, but let me show you what I've done so far. So it's basically, I'm building the 1/32 Revell Phantom 2 for F4. And what?
I can see now.
Oh right, sorry, I haven't turned the.
Sorry, Neil.
It wouldn't be a proper show if there wasn't a cock up in it.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't want to sit there looking beautiful, because I am.
So yeah, so I'm on this. I put this together. It's taken a week so far, so it's not straight.
Well, he was trying to fit the tailplane to that to begin with.
Yeah, and so let me. I don't know if I can. Let me get the light down first so that I can try and show you in the cockpit. The seats I've left out purposefully. I will try and explain why in a second. So
I think towards you a little bit, Mark. towards you, not towards the camera.
No,
Away from the camera. That's better. You're not almost at it then.
Okay.
yeah, I just want that top one to.
That's it. Back a little bit more. That's it. Perfect. There you go.
So initially,
because that's not decals. Just a minute, Mark. That is not decals. That cockpit. It's not decals, and that's
about to say that.
It's not a zoom set or any Edard. That is straight out the kit. All he's done is paint and weather it, and I think he's done a brilliant job of that.
Yeah. So there's, as I say, I was going to do decals, and I even put decals on one panel, and then I sat and looked at it for a bit. And I thought, no, the decals just didn't look right. And I looked at the detail on the panel, and I thought, that's just crying out for a bit of weathering. So, you know, weathered it all up, painted it, used a toothpick in some white paint to make the needles, used some fluorescent Revel paint for the visual display unit, and then went over the various dials with the micro crystal clear, a little drop on each one, let that set, and then that gives it the the shine over each dial. And then I've done a little change from the norm on the side control panels in that I painted them a gunmetal. They wouldn't normally be that shiny along the side. But, you know, I just done it as something of a change. There you go. And obviously, I haven't put the seats in yet because I don't like the seat belts. That's purely all it is. They're painted on. I'm trying to get a 1/32 set of seat belts to put on it. Once they come, these will then drop in. So just to give you an idea, we'd be sort of looking somewhere around like that. So it's going to look nice when it's done. So one of the biggest problems with the kit is seam lines. And as you can see, I think I've done that justice. I've got rid of that seam line that ran down there. And then at the back here, there was a nasty one as well. I managed to get rid of that. And, you know, it's nothing more than I'm quite proud of this one because I've managed to work around the detail on that, on them radiator covers or whatever they are, vents. And managed to keep them. I've been lucky in that I've got Neil, whose dad flew Phantoms. So he has been a great help when it comes to little extra touches. For example, doing the front radome, I'd finished it and Neil suggested that I add the wiring to it. So we both had a look at his book, and yes, indeed, there's two main wires that come from the dish, one there and one there, obviously, and I've put them roughly in the right position. You know, they're not perfect, but they do. There's you know, there's more.
Just an added piece of detail.
Yeah, it does add that certain something.
Yeah. Do you want to be a rivet counter, or do you want to be along the lines of, well, it smells like a Phantom, it looks like a Phantom, it's painted like a Phantom, so therefore it's a Phantom and I'm happy with it, and that goes for any model.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well, Mark's forgot to tell you, he was told by people when he started in this hobby that when you come to doing seam lines and things like that, don't use Mr. Hobby Surfacer because, it's a terrible thing to sand and it's all this, that and the other. I said to him on the front one, just use Mr. Hobby 500. And he's done it, dripped it on, let it dry, put a bit more on, sanded it down, and it's come out perfect. Don't believe everything you're told by people. That's what I'd say. If you want to try it, even if you get two old pieces of styrene, glue them together, and then just try and see which one's the best putty for you. I mean, it sounds silly. I've made my own, and I'm not talking sprue glue where everybody makes. I've got stuff in here where it's like distilled putty, dissolved Mr. Hobby dissolved putty, and that's mixed together with a tube of Mr. White or putty, which is again made by Mr. Hobby. But I've mixed them together, and that's brilliant. That one, that's a cracking one. But I've got one or two of them were a different, all made up different things. There's Tamiya White putty mixed in with another one there, and Hero Boy Grey putty, that's a very strong putty because that is really the stuff what they use on cars. It is that car spot putty. And then I've got the original, the ones I like using to finish off. They are expensive, but as you can see by the tubes, you buy a tube of this, it's going to last you the rest of your life in hobbying. You know what I mean? But those are amazing because they are designed for working on cars where you've got a mark in the paint and you're ready to go in the spray booth. And they literally, it's over it and it's drying for 4 or 5 minutes. Sand it flat, and easy sand, doesn't shrink. Yeah, it's expensive. I think it's about. I got it on eBay at a good price. If I remember rightly, I paid about 19 quid a tube, and it's supposed to be 25. But he done me a deal, and I got it for 15 quid a tube because I had the two. But that is brilliant stuff. The only thing is because it's toluene based and stuff, you need to use it in a ventilated area. Don't use it around your missus and the kids because she'll hit the roof. Because it does leave a bit of a wang in there, some bit of a pong. But you know, fillers wise, everybody's got their own. Everybody has their own filler. Everybody has what they think is the best one. You will never get a consensus of opinion of what the best filler is. You know, I mean, everybody goes on about sprue glue, and Mark will tell you, I don't particularly like sprue glue. I very rarely use it. I can't seem to get on with that for some reason. Everybody else does, but I can't. Yeah, I use stuff that nobody else gets on with. So it's one of them things. It's whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. Don't be frightened to be different from the norm. That's what I'd say. Over to you then. Go on, tell them about your bike, aircraft.
All right, thanks.
I'm sorry, I'm taking over the show, am I?
So then it came to the nose cone. Now, what they don't tell you with the nose... Oh, damn camera.
He's learning.
We'll make a cameraman out of me at times.
So the nose cone. Early in the build, they tell you to, if you want to do the radome, which I did, you need to cut off the front. It's about the front 5 mil of the fuselage each side, which isn't a problem because it's all marked out, pretty straightforward. You cut it off, and I threw the pieces in the bin. And then once you've installed the radome, it then tells you to glue 2 parts to the front nose cone. But what it doesn't tell you, and you have to work this out for yourself, is that the 2 parts you need to glue to the nose cone are the 2 parts that you sawed off earlier, which was a big problem, because I'd thrown them out. So I had to go rummaging through the bin. I found them again. And of course, because I thought they were rubbish, I just hacked them off. I just got a saw and just quickly sawed them off. I wasn't bothered about their appearance. So I ended up with pretty dire looking pieces. And I think I've done a fairly good job of putting them back on. I've glued them back on, and it was a pig because they weren't flat all the way round, and I had to fill sand. I started off using this. It wasn't very good, really, in all honesty. But it filled in the bigger gaps. Let's say the bigger gaps got filled in. And then I went over to Mr. Hobby's Surfacer, which, as Neil's just told you about, I found to be fantastic. I used the 500 once the areas that needed filling were sort of the right size. I swapped to 500. And I think this is my final step now. I just need to give that a sand off and give it a bit of a polish, and then that nose cone is ready. And obviously it's going to sit on it'll sort of sit like that. It sort of sits open. And interesting fact, might be pointless, but I think Neil told me this last night, that the Phantom radome, when it in its rest position,
in its park position,
it's down and to the right, isn't it, Neil?
Down to the right. All radars on aircraft have a park position where it's the easiest for the radome to be opened without hitting the dish. Because the radome and the dish is the mega money on an aircraft. So they always park in a place where it gives it the most room for the dome to either be taken off completely or swung open. You see, most jetliners, they come off, they have to unbolt it, and it's lifted off. But with fighters, military aircraft, because they need to repair them and get them back in the air as fast as possible, I think 99.9% of them have got the system still like the Phantom, where it's got a hinge and it swings open.
Yes, so that was, I was able to reposition that. Unfortunately, on the Revel kit, it doesn't pivot down. It does pivot from left to right, but it doesn't pivot down. So, if people in future builds wanted to, I don't know, adjust that in some way, I don't know how you do it, but
I've actually seen somebody who's built that aircraft, the Revel one, and he actually used the radome and the cockpit out of the Tamiya kit for the Revel, and I've never understood that one myself. Why would you use bits out of a Tamiya kit in a Revel kit?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I never understood that one. Don't get me wrong, it was beautiful when it was finished. It was absolutely cracking looking build when it was finished. But I just couldn't get over, why would you take a Tamiya cockpit and put it in a Revel kit? Just confusing.
So just quickly moving back for my build, all that's left for me to do is the whole plane. But for an addition, Neil has pointed out that this area here is a mass of cables and wires that go into the back of the controls panels. I've got to have a look forward on the instructions to see how much of this is visible, and if it's the areas that's visible, I'm obviously going to have to try and fill them in with some cables and wires. I should use soldering cable, lead wire, or some small electronic cable, anything like that. I've got various sizes and diameters of cables, and just to try and fill that in. And if you go onto Google and you have a look at the back of this area, you can see exactly what Neil means. It is chocker of all sorts of diameter cables. So there's 3 or 4 really thick ones, which I should probably use the 2mm braided Tamiya wire that I've got. and then I shall pack in some more devices there. So that's how far I've got this week. There's been no other progress on the Airfix HMS Victory.
That's because it's sunk.
Yeah, it has sunk a bit. Well, it is upside down anyway on the table. And so now we will have you I can't remember, have you built anything yet? Because you've had a weird 2 weeks, haven't you?
No, I've just said I've had 2 weeks where I've wanted to do modelling, but I've been that busy doing stupid forms and running around doing this, doing that, that when I have been able to settle down and sit at night time, Mark will tell you the other night I just spent 2 hours whinging and moaning, and he was good enough to just listen because I was absolutely peed off and fuming the other night, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I was so angry, I just needed to get it out and just vent. And I'm hoping now I'm starting to feel better, because bear in mind I'm bipolar. I'm starting to feel more along my centre line, and I reckon by the end of the week I will be starting modelling again. But I feel weird because I've had 2 weeks of not touching anything, and that's odd. That's very odd for me.
So yeah, it's been he's had a tough couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we've got we'll just bring some Misfits news in. We've had some new memberships. I think we're currently at about 23, 24 members now.
Welcome to all Misfits members.
Yeah.
Please, can I say one thing to Misfit members?
Misfits+1.
All right, Misfits+1. Sorry, I forgot about you, Angela. Sorry. Can I just say one thing, please? We have an hangout every night. Now, we've got to admit, sometimes it is our fault because we forget to put it on the site. We will put it on the Misfits page every night now when we're in an hangout. Please, if you've got a webcam, just join us. It's somebody to talk to. We've had some people join us, and everybody's saying on the site that, you know, how much we are different to other people. We do this for enjoyment. We've got no agendas. We're not pushing anybody's products down your throat. Just come on, have a natter while you're building your models, and just enjoy it. But yeah, let's get the group built up a bit, and let's start meeting the members. And you know, I mean, if people want one during the day, just ask us. We can sort that out. We can do it. You know, we can do hangouts anytime you want. Because Mark's a night owl, I'm a night owl. I mean, there's some nights, I mean, at this precise moment in time, I've been up for about 42 hours non-stop.
You're a bat.
Neil,
I know, I am, yeah. I am a bat. I'm a bat, I am.
I'm a night owl, cute owl. You're an ugly vampire bat.
I'm a daytime.
No, I'm a beautiful vampire bat.
There's no such thing as a beautiful vampire bat.
There is.
Is there?
It's not Neil.
Vampire bat, you look at Kate Beckinsale and tell me there is such a thing as a beautiful vampire bat, mate.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. Okay.
Take that one, son.
Got a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Say hello to Neil's brother.
Yeah, hello, Neil's brother. I think that's your brother, isn't it?
Yeah. He's another one. I'm trying to get him to start modelling again.
And I believe Simon does model.
Yeah, he's brilliant at trucks. He's brilliant truck modeler.
See, we can't believe it unless we see some sort of evidence.
No.
He's going through rough times at the moment, and because of circumstances with his ex-wife, he's having to work. I mean, he puts in average 28 hours overtime every week.
Right.
So at this precise moment in time, it's trying to find the time. It's difficult. I'm trying to build up a new modelling station.
Yeah.
The house now in the Littlands room, because the youngest, who's 13, coming 14. Yeah, he's brilliant at doing tanks.
So nice to say hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hello. It's the first time I've seen you. So.
But he's a member of Misfits. So this is Mark, Angela, and this is my brother Simon. He did.
I'm in the background. You can't
Yeah,
see me.
you can't
You
see
can
it.
tell he takes after the mum's side of the family because he's pig ugly. That's a matter of opinion, dear brother. Not like me and my dad. I mean, we look the same. We are proper Irishes.
Reece said he's not a night owl or an early bird. He's a pigeon.
Reed says you're some sort of weird pigeon.
No.
Yeah, weird pigeon.
He's not a night owl. So Reece is not a night owl.
Right.
He's not an early bird.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Reece said he's some sort of pigeon.
Reece says he's some sort of pigeon. He's not a night owl or an early bird. He's some sort of pigeon.
Reece is really weird because he worked the shifts he works. Very odd. Because he does 12-hour shifts on the ambulances, but he'll start at like 1 till 1 in the morning, or 11 in the morning till 11 at night, or 12 till 12. He's all over the place.
Yeah. So, you know, we don't get him on very often, but yeah, we do. We cater for everyone. And the thing is, what I wanted to say while I remember is with us, with this show, the Wednesday live show, if you're in Misfits, you've got to be a member of Misfits for this, and you want to be on the show on the Wednesday night, you want to come on, then just private message.
You're welcome.
Neil or Reece, and we can get that sorted for that week. We can get you on, and you can be with us
any week you want. I mean, if you want to message us and say, you know, you want to come on in 2 weeks' time, anytime, just message us and we can sort it out for you.
If you've got an idea for something you think would be good for the group, then you can do that. You know, you can do that. That's totally up to you. So,
messages run good for the group. Everything except shooting Mark. We won't shoot Mark.
No.
We have to have something to laugh at.
Oh, you can shoot him, just don't shoot me.
Have you ever got the feeling you've got no friends, Mark?
You know what? It's funny you should say that. I once had a lot of friends, you know, but I lost them all.
Don't be blaming me.
No, I'm not blaming you. Yeah, so I think that was it in terms of what I've built. I don't know. We went to what Neil was building.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not. I haven't touched anything. There's no point me getting stuff out because it's exactly what I showed 2 weeks ago. So I'll leave it. I'll leave it this week, and I'll start showing stuff next week. I mean, that's the other thing with me. I'm trying to get Mark to remind me to take pictures to put up on flipping Misfits because I keep forgetting to do it.
Another thing that you showed me in little with the details.
They want to see it.
Show them.
I have shown them already.
What? This the details that you were showing me?
Yes. I've shown them this nozzle, haven't I? This radar.
You didn't show it very well, and you didn't explain how you did it.
All right. Okay. My apologies. Is the camera on me first of all? Right.
Yes.
Why would we want the camera on you?
Well, not on me, but on the plastic.
I'm the camera. Now tell the camera what you were telling me.
So,
it's on there.
No, it's not.
Move it over a little bit more because it's in the picture.
Yeah, I've got the camera so I can see what everyone else is seeing now. Let me just
perfect. That's in the centre, mate.
There we go. So this is obviously the front dish, I guess it would be called.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can just see the detail that Revel have put on that.
It's nicely detailed, that.
Yeah, they've done a stonking job with detail, considering it's an old kit.
And also bear in mind that kit even now is less than half the price of the Tamiya kit. You're talking of a sub £45 kit there.
And then if I can get behind it, you've got granted this is just details that I've painted. I don't know what parts these all are, but I've had a look online and I've had a look at pictures. and it's fairly accurate.
Yeah, it is. It is fairly accurate.
And then we come round.
The only thing I say with it, I think the green paint is a bit too smooth.
Yeah, well, as Neil will,
we had a disagreement on that.
Yeah, I did put a first coat on, and I didn't like it because it was very rough. You could see brush marks in it, and I just didn't like the finish on it.
I had to go at him for ruining it.
So I basically stripped it all down and resprayed it, but this time I airbrushed it instead of... I airbrushed the green, but everything else is hand painted.
Can you explain to me how you done the wiring, please?
The wiring was quite very simple.
First bit of super detailing. Come on, explain how you did it.
The wiring, this is basically some black, I think it's radio control wire. Bear with me a second. Ooh. So this is my super detailing box. I am not an expert at super detailing.
And you're only just starting, so don't worry about it. Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, any way, shape or form. But this is the kit I'm slowly building up. So I was very lucky that I won a prize from Mr. Mini Dreams over in America, and he sent over, in that prize, he sent over a range of different size wires and different colours. I don't know, are they all the same size, just different colours?
That probably will be with Mini Dreams, because Mini Dreams is all based on cars.
Yeah.
So you will find that all that detailing stuff there, wire-wise, is based on 1/25 to 1/24 scale cars.
So we've got other things in here. We've got electronic components that obviously
for fuel filters.
Used for a distributor cap, I guess you could.
Yeah, or no, the best thing you use them for is fuel filters. Yeah, they're brilliant.
You know, that sort of thing. And then we've got a thinner one there. That's definitely thinner than the rest. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get them. So they go there, and then I've got some that I've added myself, some orange. And then this one I bought for my bike builds, but it's a bit too big. Or did I get it for the car builds and it was too big? I can't remember, but it was too big. And I love this stuff. It was this is the 2mm version.
That's Tamiya's, by the way.
Yeah, this is Tamiya's brand.
Yeah.
And I shall be using this for the back of the cockpit on the Phantom. These will probably make up the thicker wires. I haven't made it.
Actually, that'll look really nice for the thicker wires going up to there.
Yeah. And it's simple. It's just a case of drilling a small hole and putting a chamfer on it for the bigger stuff, and then super gluing that in. With the thinner plastic, you're obviously not going to be able to drill straight through, because the drill will come out the other side and ruin the control panel. So it's just a case of making a slight chamfer in the plastic, so it's like a depression, and then just put a bit of super glue again, touch that to it. 9 times out of 10, you're going to need some sort of activator just to let it go off real quick. It can be a pain putting these wires in terms of gluing them, because they don't always stick.
Can I just say one thing? You know that Tamiya stuff there you've got there?
Yeah.
That is not actually wire, it's hose. Now, what you can do with that to make it easier is get something like a pin and break a pin off. Or a piece of wire that fits in the end, slide it in the end with a bit of super glue so it glues itself to the rubber. Then you'll get a solid surface at the end. And what you'll find, the reason it's a bugger to stick is because rubber doesn't like super glue. And it's a very weak joint. So if you put something in there which metal, the metal will glue. You see.
Excellent. There you go. Heard it here first. And of course I've got a load of pins at this end. So that would be very easy to do. So what Neil's saying is just to super glue that in there, cut the end off, and just glue that in. And of course, if you glue it in the other way, it will actually stick in the hole itself. So excellent, yeah. So that's and then I've got these radio control wires. Now I used to do RC modeling, not a lot, but I built an electric one and I built a petrol one, and I thought I was going to really get into it, but unfortunately I enjoyed the building. I didn't enjoy the driving of them so much. But it didn't stop me from going out and buying all this stuff. So I've got that range, and these can be used for so many different things when there's so many applications. And when it comes to jets, there's cables all over the place. And if it's the wrong color, you can respray it. It's not a big problem. You can even use a marker and just color it in. But generally, I can choose between black and white. Then this came. I don't know where we got this from. But
That's
I thought,
cracking, that is that twisted cable.
yeah, but it's paper.
Yeah.
And it's a sod to glue.
What are you gluing it with?
I tried super glue.
Now try PVA. Paper use PVA.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, I think. But yeah, I think that's cracking. It's going to look good on some kits. And then we've got just basically some electrical tape. And then I've got some, what's this called again?
Flocking.
Flocking, that's it, yeah. Got some flocking. And then some small squares of sanding papers that I pre-cut at their various, and I had the foresight to write on the back the grit.
You ain't got OCD though, have you?
No. I'm glad Angela weren't here when you said that.
Oh, I know what Angela says about you. See, I haven't got OCD. I've got CDO because I'm in the right order.
And
hey, don't laugh. You asked me brother what it's like in my house.
And then we've got some brushes, eyelash. I think they're eyelash. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but they're there. And I've seen these in Tamiya weathering kits. So
that's it. That's what I'm for. That for weathering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy them. Those are called eyeshadow brushes, right? Yeah. The best way of buying them, because the ones in the Tamiya kits, in the Tamiya weathering pads, don't last that long. But you can buy a pack of them, like 100 of them, off eBay for so much stupid, like £2.50 for 100 of the things. And the other thing as well, you can get off eBay, off the old flea eBay, or if I get to the cover. I actually have a massive, great 6-drawer steel cabinet from a factory in my living room with all my modelling stuff in, and it's full to the brim. Where is it? There you go. I shall show you things I've got that are useful. You can get all these off eBay. That actually is from Aldi, and all these are cotton wool pads. They're basically makeup removers. Same there, double-sided, but these are stitched, cotton stitched, so they're really good on models because you don't get bits coming off them. Brio eyelash pencils, 200 of them for £8. Yeah, and for that price, it don't matter. You can use them, chuck them away. It's something that consumables that you get through. Once you start weathering and doing things, you get through them. And it's the same with the cables and everything when you're super detailing. Find ways around buying things like Top Studio and things like that, because it gets expensive. If you are doing a lot and you're using Top Studio detailing stuff, especially on cars and bikes. It is beautiful. It looks gorgeous, but you get through a lot of it. And when you suddenly finish the build and you think, well, hang on, that kit's cost me 45 quid for a Tamiya bike kit, but with all the extra bits I've put on it, it's owing me 350, 400 quid. It suddenly becomes an expensive kit.
Yeah, especially if you ain't got a budget.
Exactly. So what you need to do is think of other things. Like what I did, I went into looking in railway modelling and looking in tank modellers and lead wire. You can get packs of lead wire, all different sizes, from sort of half a mil up to 1 mil. Get that, because lead wire, you can cut it, it's easy to bend, it super glues easy, and with a coat of paint, you wouldn't even know it's lead wire. You know, it's things like that. Fuse wire is brilliant. It bends nicely. You can get some lovely bends on it. And just try and cut the cost down on things like that. Don't get me wrong, if you're doing what I call an A-class build, what you're going to show off and it's going to be there in your case at the front and you have all the fairings off it, then go for it. You know, buy the top studio kit for it, or buy the hobby design kit with all the resin in, and build it and be proud of it. You know, you just have a go, try.
I'm just thinking that maybe we could do a cheapy corner where we show stuff that you can use instead of. I know it's frowned upon by a large segment of people, but equally there's a large
I've got to be truthful, the forum and one of the most respected sites in the country has got it, cheapy corner.
Okay, so it's not.
Yeah, and I mean, you know who I'm on about. I'm on about Phil Flora. You know, and some of the things that you find in there is absolutely amazing, because there's some things in there that I look and I thought, I'd never thought of that.
Yeah, so maybe we should do that once a week. Just grab something. Yeah, I like the idea of that, because that will appeal to a lot of people that are on low income.
I mean, it's like a lot of people can't afford very expensive kitchen roll, like plenty's expensive kitchen roll. But the problem is with the cheaper stuff, the fibres come off too easy.
Oh yeah.
So you clean your airbrush in between colour changes. You wipe it out with that, and then all of a sudden it's not spraying properly because you've got a bit of fibre off a kitchen roll down in the tip.
Yeah.
Trick with that: go in Aldi somewhere like that, nappy baby wipes, packet of baby wipes. You can get 100 baby wipes in a packet for like 80p. Wipe your airbrush out with one of them. Cleanse your airbrush perfectly in between colour changes. No fibres.
Yeah, it's a bit, and the other thing with that is that people often wonder why they can't get a decent finish on their kits, on their cars or their bikes or whatever. And sometimes it can be down to the fact that your kitchen roll you're using, you know, because it can throw fibres up in the air while you're spraying, and then you know you leave your piece down in the booth afterwards uncovered, and everything settles on it, and you'd be surprised.
I'll tell you what I've got, and I brought you'll find them around at Christmas. Brought 3 of them from Morrison's about 3 years ago. I've only got one left now because they disappeared off. Simon's got one for his modelling, and Little's got one. Cake covers. Plastic cake covers with a lid on. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. Clean your model off, wipe it off with a tack cloth, ready to spray. You put it under there, put your lid on, you open it, you take it out, you spray it, you put it back under. Minimum in the air. And it works. It works.
See, I do
as simple as that. And I mean, like them £3. You know, £3 for a big one, you can get 2 or 3 car bodies in there. That's how big they are. So you can get a lot of stuff in there. But just for that, and it's worth it.
I do the same, but what I do before I spray, and I can't credit myself with this, I picked this up from somebody else, so I can't take credit for this. But before I spray, I use wet wipes and I go round the interior of my little spray booth I've got and wipe it all down. I mean, you don't need baby wipes. You could use a damp sponge and wipe round all the interior and then dry it off with a tea towel or something, or just let it air dry, even better. And then go on and do your spraying, and you'll find if you've been struggling with finish, this could help. And also the main thing you've got to watch for is pets, dog hair.
So I've got 2 dogs, but I can turn out really nice paintwork. But the reason why that is, and a lot of modelers who do big stuff, I've got it because I use a lot of lacquer-based paints. But that little baby there, which if I knock them off, you'll see it. That is my bench vent, the famous bench vent BV 300, what everybody raves about. Pipe to outside. But the reason why they are so good is not the paint. Yes, it is the paint extraction, but the reason they are so good is it's got such a fantastic motor in it that it will empty the room in less than 4 minutes of air. That's how much air it is pulling through it. So anything that's in the air just gets sucked straight into the filter. So anything that's floating around is past the model and gone. And they are fantastic. They're expensive. Filters are expensive for them. But if you're using lacquers, it's a must. You've got to have something like that if you're using lacquers for your own safety and other people in the house. But if you're only using the normal stuff, acrylics, stuff like that, there is nothing wrong with that little spray booth what Mark's got. I brought one of them for my brother and his lads. That's a good little spray booth.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you switch it on, leave it running for about 5 minutes before you spray. And this is another trick that I learnt off, and I can't take the credit for it. It was Phil Flory who taught this trick. Bench vents, even these bench vents. Before you spray, switch them on and leave them running for 5 minutes. Before you even think about getting your model out of a cover or putting paint in your airbrush, just let it run for 5 minutes. Let it draw all the dust and everything out the room. And it works. It does work.
Yeah, I mean, even the little ones, I do use lacquer. And I even use the 2-pack clear coats from Zero Paints. But
I hope you have the window open when you're using that.
Yeah, I do. And I've also got a mask.
Yeah. If anybody is using that 2-pack from Zero, if you haven't got a bench vent, please make sure you've got another form. You've got to use it with an extractor, even the smaller one with the pipe on. But if you are using it with a small one like that, make sure you've got a window open or a door open so you've got through draft through it. And please wear a mask, because that stuff is not nice even in small quantities.
Yeah. So what I was it's with the lacquers, even Angela notices a difference. So when I spray the lacquers, if I don't have the spray booth on, Angela can smell instantly that something's in the air.
Angela remembers you to open the window.
But she will say, even the small spray booth with lacquers, MRPs, anything like that, once that goes on, it takes the smell out of the room.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Makes a big difference.
So
hence why I keep bugging you to use the window and use it. And it works.
Yep.
Right. Now it's become the Angela nagging show.
No, it's not an Angela nagging show. I have told you myself when I'm not on you go out there.
You open the window and the spray booth on.
Yeah.
Or you're getting a shed like everybody else.
You know, when you come.
We're all eagerly looking now to see what it
Dave
is
wants to know what about the bird.
The bird gets moved out the room.
So inside like
The bird is very lucky.
Okay. Mind you, bulk can go any time. It's not Trish's fault.
Put it on his side like Bob anyway.
Yeah, so
Rob's in the shed. See?
I'll tell you what, there's some damn good sheds out there.
Maybe I need to buy you a shed.
I don't know, depends on the size and
Never mind, depends on the size.
Fortunate when you come up to look at mine.
Well, at least we've got somewhere to put
and
it.
we couldn't fit it out the way
Well, we would have to have a damn good go.
we couldn't fit it out the way that it would need fitting out.
You know,
21.
so I do it on mine, they'll open sometimes. Now I have to open it down. Just
We
unlock
didn't
it,
even
just lock it.
Out of it, isn't it?
You've got more than that.
Works on the second one, I
Have
don't
the
know.
door. Right, I'm going then. So I'll be in early.
All right then.
Or early-ish.
By Mr. Harris Simon.
Mr. Harris Jr.
Yeah, Mr. Harris Jr.
Junior.
So when are you coming on when are you coming on Misfits?
At the moment, not a clue.
He is a misfit.
Plus one.
It's a
You've
perfect
already-
group for him now, he's misfit.
You've already been in you've been on the hangout now. So there's no reason to avoid it.
And this was somebody who said he wouldn't even come on a private hangout, let alone one was on live on the internet. And I've told him it's live.
Yeah, but I mean, you take me as your fireman if you don't like it. Well, that's me.
Well, that's us. That's what we do. We've got no airs and graces. That's what they like about us.
So we'll I'm just basically sanding this flat. It's almost there, to be honest. There's a tiny little
Okay. Yeah, it's all right, Simon.
There's Simon. There's a tiny little lip just there.
Yeah, they're a mate, mate.
It's unusual because this phantom normally
Door open, sorry.
draw the mojo from you, as many of us know. But this has not.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I thoroughly enjoyed putting this 132nd Phantom together. I hope it's going to continue through the build. Granted, I am on sort of my favourite area, cockpit and detailing. But we'll wait and see. It's I'm using quite a coarse grit. This is the white UMP sanding sponge, and it's quite coarse. I'm not too bothered because once I've got this fairly smooth, I will then go over with the other grits and just get rid of some of these slightly deeper scratches. I'm not putting any pressure on this at all to take this prime, this sand filler off. No pressure at all. And the reason for that is you really had to see how bad these two pieces were together, how they sort of measured up together. There were whole areas where there was just nothing. I mean, if you can imagine hacksawing two plastic pieces off and then forgetting about them for a week, sanding the other side flat, and then suddenly you've got to glue them together again.
Rob said he's ordering one of them now, and we'll try and build alongside.
What, ordering one of these? 132nd? Really?
He says, I'm ordering one of them now, Mark. I will try and build alongside.
Excellent. Brilliant. Yeah. I'd like to see your opinions as well, because personally, I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as everyone says it is.
And I love Seymour. 2 bits pinged off in 5 minutes. That's it. Time for more rum. I'll find him tomorrow. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 bits pinged off. Yeah, you're right there. Neil gone? I think he has.
I think it is. I don't know. I told Dave maybe said should you in a shed.
Yeah.
I said I built a she shed.
A what?
A she shed for SWMBO. I'm guessing that's his right past.
What does that stand for? SW, she who must
be obeyed.
Oh.
Dave, I love it. She must be obeyed.
No, Dave, I've gone
Oh,
for
you're lovely, Dave. Say, she must be obeyed.
You're right, you can go off people.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I wonder what that meant. Actually, that's pretty much... Oh, no, there's a tiny little bit there. It's what? Right, so I'll just finish this off. And, yeah, I guess that's it for this week, really. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Had some fun, some battling to get a word in edgeways. Hi, Neil. Is he back? Yeah, he's back. So, yeah. I don't know what next week will bring because we really do.
God only knows.
We just do this on the fly. There's no scripting. There's no what shall we do. There's no planning really. In all honesty, occasionally there might be, halfway through the week, I might think, oh, I'll do this week. But tonight, I think the only thing that I wanted to cover was the selling of Revel. And I wanted to touch a little bit on that and what that meant for modelers in general and, how people felt about that. And Neil done that. And so everything else is really just winging it. And it shows. I know it shows in the sort of production. I'll use that word in the loosest terms. But that's what this is all about. It's about enjoying the hobby. It's about enjoying what we're doing. It's it's about hopefully giving you folks a laugh. And I hope we've achieved that in some way. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. I think that's it. Do you have anything to add, Neil?
We said hopefully I'll see you next week.
Neil, you're muted. All right. Okay. So see you all next week then.
I'll see you next week.
Bye for now.
There you go. Working. See you next week. It's all right. It's suddenly decided it's got the picture from the webcam, but it's decided to switch the microphone off. So luckily I've got two webcams because I've got one over the desk, so I've switched that one on. But it's just took me ages to work out what was up with it. I've even gone completely out the hangout, shut down Google, and then restarted it all up.
Why do you want to speak about that?
I just do not understand why it does it sometimes. And it's what the funny thing is, it's doing it when I use the Google account that we've set for Misfits+1. Doesn't do it on the others.
Reese is going to be with us next week, I believe.
Yeah, I hope so.
Quick race. Bye-bye,
Yeah. So bye
I do
everyone.
apologise for that little hiccup, but as he said, this is totally unscripted. We are not to the standards of even. Well, we're not to the standards of even an amateur horror flick, let alone BBC. And I don't think we'll ever get to BBC standards. We've got to the standards of the horror flick because we've got Mark in it.
Not Disney with me.
We are going now.
All right. I will see you all next week. Have a good week. Enjoy your modelling. And please, if you want to, come and join us. We don't bite, honest.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Good night.